Yo, it's your boy Oakley, and today we're just gonna be doing yet another My Hero What If. This is what if Deku had a perfection quirk, basically. He had a perfect quirk. It would all start off with Deku being evaluated for his quirk. At the age of 4, he was hoping that he would be able to be like All Might and have incredible quirk to become number one hero. And that's exactly what he gets. He gets a quirk basically called Perfection. And at the same time, Toga would get her quirk. I'll say that Toga and Deku actually did go to the same school for, preschool. And, all the way up to 5th grade. So, ever since then, no one has really saw Toga. And even some people has even truly forgot her. So, Deku kind of has to just, he just lives without Toga, so does everybody else, because Toga's just gone. No one even knows where she went. No one's probably gonna even go out and find her. So, yeah. So he just moves on with his life. And with a time skip of him being, around, it would be around 2 years later. And Deku is in middle school. And, as he is walking down the street, he would hear a couple of sounds of people talking. And you would hear a girl voice and two men voices or whatever. So you would see that they're about to scrap all three of them. It was a 2-on-1, and he realized that the girl they were talking to was Toga. She's not that older. This is literally only 2 years This is literally only 2 years later. So yeah, he can be able to he can recognize her. So he can start. So he would just walk up to Toga, and he'll start fighting these guys. And basically, she was a part of the League of Villains until she tried to leave, and that's why these guys are out to try to beat her up and kill her, basically. So yeah. Now she has Deku assist, and Deku with his perfect quirk, everything goes perfect for him. So, he would easily win the fight with Toga, and Toga would basically go crazy because Toga and Deku they don't really know each other, but they had a couple of conversations. Like, that's that person that you know, but you don't actually know anything about them. Like the person that you act like you know. Say, yeah, that kid over there, yeah, I know him. Yeah, but you really only know of them. So yeah, so it's kind of like that. And Toga pretty much becomes the person that she is in the anime, but she's just not evil. So Toga is secretly following, Deku back to his house. And Deku lives in a different place this time because, now that he has a perfection quirk and everything goes perfect for him, and anybody else that he cares about. Now that he cares about Toga because, he kind of just saved her life. And plus, they kind of did know each other just a tad bit. So yeah. So, he would, he would be walking home after that situation, and, Deku would just be about to unlock his door with his key. Then, he would just hear like a faint laugh, and he would look and he would, hear the bushes rustling. And once he would go over there, he would see it was Toga. He would have a confused look on his face, and he would ask like, "What are you doing?" And Toga would basically explain that I was kind of following you, and plus I have nowhere to go, so sympathy, and I need somewhere to go. So yeah, so she pretty much get a light in the house now. So yeah, Deku rich now because yeah, stuff go well for the people he like. So yeah, so now he now he can successfully no he Toga acquired. So now he's doing the 10 months of training, and well, actually, that's like 2 years before. I just kind of skipped over it. Let me go back. So yeah, Deku is pretty much doing the rest of his school, and now his Toga is going to his school now too. So yeah, and no, it's um, no, just a week in, Deku would be sleeping, and he would be he would wake up from hearing a couple of sounds in his rooms, like feet walking around in his room, creeping around, and he would be alarmed by this, so he would be looking around like, what was that? Then as he would try to go back to sleep, he would hear a couple of more rustles, and he would look up, and he would see Toga with a fucking needle trying to get his quirk, and he would understand. But bro, you're weird. like what are you doing? I'm trying to sleep. Go in your room. So Toga is there. She trying to steal his quirk, something like that. I don't know. So yeah. So Toga actually trained to the point where her quirk kind of morphed to the point where she gets the transformation of somebody and the quirk of the person. So that's why she trying to get Deku quirk. So because everything can go well for her, and yeah. So Deku been like, nah. And that would kind of happen, and the 2 years later, time skip. That's when the Sludge villain would happen. So Deku and Toga would pretty much be walking back home, and that's when they would see or hear the sewage pot pretty much open, and that would alarm Deku and Toga. So they would look back and see a huge sludge monster, pretty much come out the sewers and start acting up, start trying to do something. So he trying to steal somebody's body or whatever, some weird stuff, being a little pedo. And, Deku ain't having that. Toga ain't having that. Ain't nobody wanna have that. So yeah, they pretty much double team him. I don't know what she could actually do with this situation. So all she can do is take Deku blood and use a quirk in this transformation. And yeah, she's like, what? And the Sludge monster would pretty much get bodied, and that's when All Might would come on the scene, and Deku and Toga would be like, the fuck? And All Might would pretty much come on the scene. He would be like, yeah, I'm here. I came to save the day. Where's the villain? And there's no villain, so yeah, All Might is useless. So yeah, and they would explain how they took care of him and whatever, and that's when actually she can't actually do that right now. So yeah. And he says, so there's two of you, and he says, Deku would explain her quirk, and yeah. So that's when All Might would say, yeah, and he would sign Deku, and he would sign Deku's notebook, and he would dip out of there, leaving leaving the signing of the notebook with a phone number on it. So Deku noticed this, and once him and Toga do get home, that's when once they do get home, Deku pretty much talking about he pretty much telling his mom, I met All Might. He gave me a number, so that's cool. And he pretty much calls the number, and he pretty much talks with All Might on the phone about All for One and One for All and damage of the scar and everything else. And Deku would basically be like, yeah, okay. And he would understand very well, and everything would get, he would about to go tell Toga about this. She's basically unusing her quirk. And you know what happens when she unuses her quirk? She doesn't even come out clothed, bro. It's not even my decision. I didn't do this. Somebody said it was a good idea in the studio making this anime. So they said, when she uses her quirk, when she comes back from using her quirk, she's naked. It doesn't matter where she is, she's naked. So he pretty much comes in the room during that, closes the door, never speaks again. He's traumatized. So they would get to the 10 months of training. Deku would train, would basically actually not even need the quirk. He would actually give it to Toga, because Toga kind of just wants to go to UA too, because that's where Deku wants to go. So So now Toga is pretty much doing the 10 months of training for the quirk, and eventually after the 10 months of training, she would get the quirk, and Deku he would just be like, be powerful now. So so they would go to the UA entrance exam. So as Deku is walking by, he would trip over himself like he does in the anime. But since he is perfect, Uraraka would obviously save him before he would save him before she would even notice, like before the human eye would even notice. So he's like, damn, not really that fast? And Toga just really back there, just really back there observing, and says, this ain't it, Chief. This ain't it. And that's all would happen. It would pretty much cut to the written exam. Deku would do it. The whole class would do it. And, now they're at the explanation for for the robots, and Deku would be like, I'ma go. So him and the rest of the people pretty much go, and they're right in front of the gate, and that's when he's about to go talk to Uraraka and pretty much say thank you, even though he really doesn't have to, because it was the workings of his quirk that literally activates anytime he's in danger or anytime he would need it. So so he was about to thank her, and that's when Ida would stop him. But that's when Toga would stop Ida, and that's when Toga would stop Deku too. So doing all that, and Deku, he's pretty much confused in what just happened, and now the gate opens, and Deku would start pretty much running off, and Toga would already have that blood though, so she would take that, and some people would notice that she transformed into Deku, and Deku would basically would basically be destroying robots, and people would see two Dekus destroying robots, and they're like, "What the hell?" Actually, she doesn't even need to take you don't even need to take Deku's blood anymore because she has one for all. So I forgot about that. Yeah, so she's not doing that no more. She got one for all. So yeah, so Deku and Toga, they pretty much get the top scores, number 1 and number 2. So yeah, so that would be what happened there. And they would pretty much congratulate each other. Yeah, we did it. Yeah, we got top scores. Yeah. So at this point, they know that they got the top scores because they could see how many people got less, robots than them. And even like when he was going to save Uraka, Toga would be like, yeah, no, she doesn't need help. She's fine. She's fine. Just imagine they just left her there to die. That'd been tough. She's like, she doesn't need help. She's fine. 100% fine. So yeah. So Deku would obviously save her, Yeah. They would go home. Days later, they would get their UA. Oh yeah, you got in, yay. And they would go to UA the next day. Yo, the fuck is wrong with my brain? Yo, what the hell? Oh yeah, so they would go to UA and as Deku would walk in, no one really paying attention to him instead of Ida. And Ida is about to talk to him until, Toga shows up right behind him. Pretty much turns her head, smiles at Ida, be like, yeah, you want this work, boy. You finna get bodied. And, Ida sits straight down, don't talk no more. He paralyzed now. So, yeah, Deku pretty much sit down, and that's when Uraka be going up to Deku. Yeah. Thank you for saving me or whatever. So yeah. And that's when Toga was about to speak up to Aizawa actually did. Aizawa would basically come in clutch, and he would be like, yeah, we're doing a apprehension test for the quirk. So yeah, let's get into that. And as they would go into the second, as they would go to the training field, and he would hand the ball to Deku. And actually, yeah, I'm gonna change it up a little bit. They've been doing this in duos, so yeah, just to get it over with faster. So yeah, Deku would just be doing this in duo, so he would obviously be with Toga because there's nobody else that can even match his power. So yeah, Deku would pretty much, do the ball throw, and they would basically both use their quirks to start getting a good number. So whatever Deku got times I'll say they got 12,000 on their thing. And everybody's like, dang, bro, we had to work hard to beat that. And as everybody else is going by, they can't beat the score. And Toga's smile just getting even more bigger as every single one of them fail. So as soon as Uraka comes up to step up and start trying to do this infinity, no, um, um, as it would say infinity, and as Aizawa would show it, it would, since Deku has the perfection quirk, he can make anything that's reality not reality just because who he is. So yeah, everything goes perfect for him. So that score would go down back to a score of Bakugo, which would be 705. And people are like, no, it's not. It's not infinity. And Aizawa would take another look, and he's like, I could have swear it was infinity. Yeah, so that's when I'm gonna leave this one off. Yeah. What if Deku had a perfect quirk? Yeah.